All right, this time I'm going to try and get it roadworthy. We're gonna try and look at that transmission to see if I can figure out what's going on with it, get the rear brakes adjusted and get my pedal feeling real good, and tires. And this thing should be pretty much roadworthy after that. I might get the gauges, but I'm not quite sure. But anyway, let's get to work. Ooh. Alright, I kind of decided that I wasn't going to try and talk over the exhaust note of the truck, so that's why I just kind of filmed. But anyway, I have, let's see if you can see that, trans current gear, the trans input shaft speed, and output shaft speed. The output shaft and input shaft speeds were reading just fine, but it was stuck in second gear, and the speedometer was reading fine too. So I was looking and I was like, why is it stuck in second? But Google said that on the 4L80s, second gear is actually limp mode, which I thought it was third, and that was really throwing me off because I was like, why is it stuck in second and not third? But according to Google, second gear is limp mode, and that would make sense as why it's stuck in second, but I still have reverse and everything. It's just not shifting at all. So I'm assuming that it's some sort of wiring issue. I have no idea how that could have happened, but that's kind of where it's pointing me. So I'm going to have to get my meter out and shoot some wires and see maybe if I don't have voltage somewhere where I'm supposed to. But that's kind of where I'm at now. Alright, since the transmission doesn't shift, and I'm pretty sure it's probably a wiring issue because it's supposed to be in limp mode right now. I got my Mitchell book here. It's for, engine. It's got wiring schematics in it, or a wiring diagram for a 99 for domestic cars and light trucks. The General Motors section is back here. I got a bookmark for my wiring diagram. Where is it at? There we go. PCM wiring diagram, pickup and suburban with a 7.4. So it's a 99. I'm pretty sure that the parts truck was a 98, but doesn't really matter. They should be the same. Right over here, I think, yeah. So I got my automatic transmission right there. I have the 1-2 shift solenoid, 2-3 shift solenoid, and the torque converter clutch solenoid there. I had a code for all three of those, I remember. Well, the one thing that all three of these share is a common power, it looks like, because it's pink wire and it runs in and then it tees off into each one of these solenoids. So it runs up, over, and then up, and sure enough, it's a transmission fuse right there. 20 amp. It says run and hot and off, run or start. I don't know why it would need battery. I would assume it can be ignition. So it says IP fuse block. It had to have been the fuse block like underneath the dash there, because I went through this one pretty thick, and there's no transmission fuse like on here. So it had to have been the one for the fuse underneath the dash. And well, like whenever I was doing it, where the harness split off and it just went up into the dash, I just cut that. Like I just cut it and I depinned those because I didn't think I needed any wires out of that, which, you know, apparently I was wrong. So I'm gonna have to run a new wire from this. Well, I gotta put a fuse in it and everything, and then run from this one a 20 amp. I'm gonna do it probably just with ignition, because I don't see why just those 3 solenoids need battery power. Like, you think ignition would do fine. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do an ignition fuse, run it. Hopefully my wire's still in my harness somehow. Kind of doubt it, because I pulled a lot of wires out. So if it was just like a pink wire running from there, I probably got rid of it, which sucks because now I got to put a whole new one back in it. But I don't remember taking any wires out of that transmission plug. So I guess I'll find out here in a minute. Alright, got my plug off the side of the transmission. Pulled it back, and I think I got a couple pink wires in there. So that's a real good sign on maybe I won't have to run a whole new wiring harness. It said pin E, but I don't know. None of it's marked. So I don't know where pin E is on this. So I'll have to take this connector off. Maybe Google knows, and figure out which wire it is, and hopefully it's one of these, and I can stick my meter in it and start searching. Alright, got that back cover off, and guess what? I don't know if you can read that or not. Probably not. Anyway, I can read it. It says A, B, C, D, E. Right there. So this wire right here on the end is supposed to be power. So I have it. So now I can stick my meter on it, and man, I don't even know where I'm gonna find it. I might just follow the harness a little bit first, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, but at least I got it here, so that's good news. Well, started pulling my loom back and trying to find the end of this wire. Well, it was right there. I didn't have to go far. So now I get to running wire all the way up and around my harness and back over to my fuse box. I don't think I'm just gonna run a single wire like outside of my harness. I'll try and pull my loom back and try and make it look right, because I'm picky like that. So great. All right, I'm back. What I got here is a pink wire, the longest one I could find, which it might be long enough, might not. Anyway, I got a piece of, it's like coat hanger. It's pretty thick, like wire, pretty stiff too. And I got a non-insulated electrical connector connected to it and then to my pink wire. I heat shrunk it to kind of help hold it a little bit better and to keep it from cutting any of my wires, because it ended up being kind of sharp. But what I'm going to do with this, I guess, rod, this coat hanger, is try and fish it along my loom here, my split loom, and try and make it easier to route my harness inside my loom. It also makes a pretty good pointer. I got my loom, or my harness, my electrical connector for my transmissions right here. I pulled it out from underneath the bell housing and stuff. So I'm not trying to fish it down like between the transmission and the floor. Like, it'll just be right here. Hopefully it's not that big of a problem, but we're gonna see if this makes it any easier. It should be. I can also bend it on the end. That's what I did to try and fish it like out of the loom, because it's a split loom. But yeah, we're gonna see how it works. All right, that worked pretty good. I'm not gonna say that it was easy, because it was still kind of a hemorrhoid just to get this through and everything. But it's definitely a lot better than trying to fish it like just the wire or something like that. So if I end up having to do something like this again, I'm definitely gonna make another tool like this. All right, I got my wire ran all the way to here, coming out. Now I gotta go basically down and into my fuse box here. It'll obviously be a 20 amp fuse. There's a spot there, and that was from the horn. So that might be transmission now. But it was battery power, which the schematic said you can use battery power, but I think I'd rather use ignition. But let me go ahead and get this out of here, flipped upside down, and kind of figure it out from there. After struggling for a very long time, I decided that this is my ignition coming into it. I'm gonna jump off of one of the feeders coming into it, and I'll go to another 20 amp fuse. I just didn't really want to put battery power to them solenoids. I don't think there's any kind of memory or anything that it needs, and just in case something happens, I just don't want battery power on them. I just would rather have ignition. So it was a struggle, but I finally got it. I don't know if you can see that, but this was, oof, it was not good. So I'll go ahead and throw this in there and then get this wire routed down to here and get it tied in. All right, got my little ignition fuse here for the transmission, little 20 amp, like what the book calls for. Wire is running right here. Here's my wire coming from the transmission plug. Yeah. So I gotta get that connected, retape up there where I had to take all my tape off for that, retape here, all the way going into my transmission. I use this shielding wire here. There we go. This is just a shielding wire, like grounded, for my speed sensor. You can see where it just corroded and broke off. So I think I'm going to reconnect that too. Well, not reconnect it, but fix that. Just because I mean, they had to have put it there for a reason. So do that and connect it back up and make sure it shifts. Alright, got my wiring pretty much back in the loom, other than by the transmission. I was bebopping along doing all that, and I realized my GoPro was frozen, so I didn't get any of that on film, but it was just me doing wiring anyway on a time lapse, so ain't a big deal. And it's still frozen. Alright, got it all back together, and let's try it out. Alright, let's give it a whirl. Still showing one. So it says it ran through the gears, but since it's up on jack stands, it's like immediately like shifting through the gears. Tried to drag the brakes a little bit. It seemed to kind of shift. It really went from first to second super, super fast. But maybe I don't know. I gotta drive it and see. So we'll try and do that. Well, before I drive it, I'm gonna adjust the brakes because it's already on the jack stands. So I got that axle out. I wanted to show you guys what this one's doing. Ouch, I just poked me in the face. Oh, great. So now you can't see it. Alright, so you can see that, well, you can see the gap between the shoe and the drum. It's pretty significant. But if you watch, like, it's not even touching the drum at all, but when you rotate the drum, oh great, now you, see if I can get it to, see how it's moving the shoe? Yeah, something's hitting, but it's also got a giant gap. So I'm wondering if it's not like the inside face of the drum, like here or something's maybe catching the edge of it. I'm not sure. So I gotta pull this off and do some investigating. I figured it out. Okay, apparently my e-brake was engaged a little bit, and that was causing the whole assembly to be shifted over a little bit and not centered in and drag a little bit and have a giant gap down here and just not work at all. I figured it out because, well, I don't know. I just was looking at it, and this lever here for the e-brake was real close to that bolt, like real hard. And like I said, the whole assembly just wasn't wanting to center right. So I was like, this is weird. So I figured maybe I could try and pull on it a little bit, and well, it was really frozen. I actually had to take two pry bars, like big pry bars, and stick them together like that, and pry him out that way. And it popped pretty loud when it finally went. And this lever just popped all the way, and like slid all the way down into place, and the whole assembly just kind of centered itself, and seems like it's sitting real nice now. So that's good. I also, what's not so good is that, well, I'm missing that spring right there. I didn't realize it before. I don't know if it just didn't have it before, because, you know, like, would have put it on if it had it. So maybe it didn't, but I got to get me one of them and try and put it together. Check it out. Found me a couple brake springs. So go ahead and throw these on there, get them adjusted, tires back on, and go for a test drive. That gap is much better. And they don't drag. Let's see what this pedal feels like. Pedal's higher than my grocery bill. Let's try and start it and see what it does. A little bit of vacuum. It's all right. Better than it was. Oh, that's a lot better. Higher than a first-time home buyer's mortgage on HGTV.
Where'd you get this? Can I roll this down?
No, leave it up, because I'm not going to roll it back up. Oh, the brakes are a lot better.
You were like doing it there and then you...
good. Now I just need tires and gauges and a bunch of other stuff. Oh, and registration. Need registration. Hello! No, I wouldn't dream of going anywhere. I'm just checking my mail. That's the FD.
They're gone.
Phew! Must have a run somewhere because there's the ambulance. I'd say that's probably why that cop didn't care about me at all. Probably had something better to do. Works in my favor. Alright. Ooh, I need to clean this shop out a little bit.
Yeah.
Alright, successful test drive. I didn't get arrested. Bonus, this thing shifts now. And the brakes feel pretty good. So that is awesome. Also, I still need tires, so that'll be the next thing. And I need to do gauges. That's it for this video. And I'm cutting it a little bit shorter because, well, I'm waiting on parts. I don't have tires and I don't have gauges. Well, I don't have half the stuff that I need to put my gauges in. So figured I just cut this video short. The stuff is not going to be in for a couple weeks. Well, the tires will, but the stuff that I need to do the gauges and the cluster and everything, it's going to be a couple more weeks. So I figured I'd just cut the video short and get all that stuff in the next one. So that's going to be the next video, is putting the tires on, cutting up the cluster, putting a little bit of aftermarket gauges in there. I wanted to try and make it look really factory, but I could not find the right speedometer, basically, is what I needed. I need an electronic speedometer. I didn't want to buy that stupid box thing, so I got some aftermarket ones. I'm trying to find some that look pretty similar, but I don't know if it's going to work. The Dakota digital gauges are very nice, but they are also very expensive. Like, that's like half of what I got in the entire truck just in gauges. So I was like, I'm going to try and go a little bit cheaper route. And I still have a couple $100 in it, which kind of sucks. Well, more than a couple, like 400. So that'll be the next one. I got to cut out the cluster, modify, do a bunch of stuff, try and get my gauges to work. We're going to see how it looks. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be very happy with it. But that'll be all in the next video. And just remember, you got to pick up a wrench so you can put the hammer down. Thanks. It's still expensive. I should have probably just put a Dakota digital in it, but all right, here we go. Let's try it again. Oh yeah, higher than Tommy Chong at a Snoop Dogg concert. I got my wire ran all the way up to here. Oh, the dogs. Higher than Snoop Dogg at a Willie Nelson concert. Causing error. That's why everything was shifting over real start or. Oh yeah, that pedal's higher than Willie Nelson on his birthday. I got a dash. There. God, that's hard. There. Higher than a hippie in a hot air balloon. I don't know where it. Moving my arms. Let's start recording. Ooh, whoops. This is gonna be the last one. I'm tired. All right. That'll be it for this video.